Hello, welcome to FootyWit podcast. My name is Ehis Anthony, and we're here on the EPL review episode on FootyWit podcast to review some of the EPL games that happened over the weekend. There were not so many, but there were few. I think there were like 4 to 5 games that happened in this match day 32. And as an Arsenal fan, I'm not buzzing, but we'll get straight into that part where we'll start talking about the games. But first, FootyWit podcast is in support of Kick Out. No room for racism. We're not supporting racism in any way, in any form. From us to the footballing world, be it on social media, be it on the pitch of play, be it in the dressing room, anywhere in the field of play, anywhere, wherever. In this part of the world, we don't support racism, and we're in support for the cause Kick Out. No room for racism on here on FootyWit podcast. So straight we move into the match day 32 review. I'm not here alone. I'm here with the regular guys. Yes, the regular guys, my striker and my defender. I'll call my striker and Chimamaka, my defender. What's up? How on the day?
Hey guys, how's it going? It's always a pleasure to be here, ready to score some goals.
Yes.
I'm ready to do some Thiago Silva to football.
You know, each time Chimamaka just smiles, you know, it's probably Chelsea just won. Or yeah.
Honestly,
yes,
because
we know they're in the FA Cup final, making the FA Cup, you know, 2 straight finals in 2 years. Lampard and Thomas Tuchel as well. Thomas Tuchel is doing a great job, marvelous job, despite him losing at home to West Bromwich Albion. Sorry, I had to throw that in, Chimamaka. But it seems to be doing a good job, and he's doing what Roman Abramovich wants any Chelsea manager to do, because you're there to win a trophy for that season or in that season. So we'll move straight. West Ham, they had a bit of shocker. Jesse Lingard, though, impressive. 10 matches out of 8 matches. He scored a penalty in their loss at Newcastle United, battling for relegation. At the time, the Newcastle United scored. West Ham went a man down. Craig Dawson getting red carded, 2 straight yellow card. And Newcastle were 2-0, 2 goals up. And West Ham United fought back to equalize. And at the end, the only impressive thing for this weekend for me, Joe Willock, Arsenal loanee at Newcastle, giving Newcastle the win. It's a bit of a scrap down there. What's your take on the game, guys?
I mean, so far for me, I'm loving the relegation battle. I think it's one thing to look forward to towards the end of the season. Okay, yeah, we know Sheffield United has been relegated, but then 2 spots up for grabs left for teams who still want to go down. And for now, obviously, it looks like Fulham might just be on their way down. It looks like Burnley as well might be on their way down. But you know what? From 15th position down to 19th position, anything is possible. The only way you can ensure safety in the Premier League is if you have up to 40 points. So till those teams get 40 points, talking about the likes of Leeds United, you know, Sheffield, Crystal Palace, you know, until they actually achieve that, it's going to be quite difficult for them. I mean, that's why it was difficult for Arsenal to actually beat Fulham today, even though Arsenal had incompetencies. But trust me, look, when it comes to relegation threatening teams,
I'm going to clear my throat on that.
They always put up a good fight. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the relegation battle until the end of the season.
Yeah, I think Chimamaka, Newcastle is safe. Before you state your own part of your analysis, I think Newcastle, they're safe at 5 points. Like, how many points away from Fulham? Fulham is 26 points, 9 points difference. Newcastle sits 15th position. I think they are safe.
Theoretically, until the last day.
I wouldn't call that safety. Let's take it back to the Sunderland days. If you can remember those guys well, they start the beginning of the season sitting on the 20th spot on the table, and eventually in game 37, game 38, you see these guys are standing comfortably at 16th position. or 17th place. I don't know if you understand.
Yep.
So it's not over until it's over. Newcastle are not safe because they don't have 40 points yet. So the EPL, it brings about different kind of upsets. So we're expecting that to happen this season. Unlucky for Sheffield United, they are the first team to have registered their name on the relegation zone.
Yeah, relegation confirmed. Relegation confirmed for Sheffield.
It's still going to be very, very serious tussle for the next person to go, because Burnley is joining them. It's looking like they are joining them. Let's not forget we still have West Brom there. It's not safe for anybody. Starting from 15.
Burnley sits. I think Burnley sits conveniently 7 points adrift of Fulham. Fulham has played 32 games already, and Burnley, they've played 31 games, and Burnley have 33 points. Fulham has 26 points. That's 7 points difference. I think Burnley, they are safe. I feel sorry for that. I think they are safe. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, well, so far so good. They seem to be safe. And one thing I know for sure is that Sean Dyche, look, he and Burnley, their experts are just escaping relegation. So really what is left for them is just to try as much as possible to get as much points from the remaining games that they do have. Yeah, sadly they did lose to Manchester United. United are chasing that top 4 finish. They want to cement a Champions League position, so they were simply ruthless, as they should be. But then again, Burnley going into the remaining fixtures for the season, they'll be trying their best to get as many points as possible. Don't forget that Burnley started that game with a lot of fight and vigor. They took the lead before United. But obviously United showed their class, and then Burnley just had to suffer it. But then if you take a look at the Burnley squad, they have what it takes to actually survive. Yes, they probably do need to sometimes refreshing the squad, but they need the boys who are going to get the job done, and Sean Dyche needs to do just that and continue to maintain a top flight status for Burnley.
So we just stick with Sorry for blabbing there. Let's stick with West Ham. I think West Ham, they missed the opportunity for cementing the 4th place position, because now they're 1 point ahead of Chelsea. With a game in Chelsea, they have a game in hand. But what has Moyes done differently this season that he has taken West Ham to this position that they are? Because all of a sudden, it was like they turned the corner with the signing of this other guy, Jason Lingard, which he has scored 10 games out of. He has scored 10. He has scored 10 goals in 8 games. What can you guys say about West Ham? Are they fit for that position? Can they qualify for the Champions League come next season? At the end of the season? Chimamaka.
I'll come on that. There is no team that is not fit for the top 4. Irrespective of class of players you have or amount of money you have as a club, every team deserves the top 4 spots. All they only need to do is fight for it. Now, the West Ham we are seeing this season actually has not been the West Ham we've all seen in the past few years, in the past 10 years. You realize that this West Ham team has a different hunger. There's a drive. We saw how there's actually a drive. I don't know what Moyes has said. I don't know what box he has ticked right that is bringing about this fight and this hunger. Now look at the game against Newcastle. You see West Ham, if not because unfortunately for them they lost the game, but you see the different drive in that game. There's a different hunger in that game. These are guys that we are a man down.
Yeah,
and you see the my happiness now is you cannot rule these guys out any longer. It's the way Leicester City started. We know the first season Leicester City came into the Premier League, they were struggling for relegation. The next season, these guys wreaked havoc in the whole of Europe. And since that time, you see these guys have been fighting all their in fact. before we used to have the top four. Now we no longer have top fours. We have top sevens because the competition is the competition is crazy. Yeah, so that's what West Ham is trying to do.
Yeah, the question is because as at this time last season, I think they were battling for relegation. If my stats serves me right,
correct.
They were battling for relegation, and come the season, all of a sudden they're up there fighting for the Champions League spot. I'm so sure it is this same set of players that Moyes had last season, except Craig Dawson and Jesse Lingard, which he added to the fold. What is it doing differently? Is it tactical wise, or could it be because of the situation? No fans, so no pressure?
No, definitely. It's the tactical setup. When David Moyes took over, he was experimenting with the squad, first of all. He was trying to find the right team for himself. However, his first objective was to save the team and to survive relegation. Mm-hmm. Now, he did that brilliantly well. And yet, he didn't have the type of summer he would really want to have, due to the financial situation. But then again, he made West Ham do good business. They sold out good players, they got good money from them. I'm talking about the likes of Felipe Anderson, Sebastian Haller, who's now moved over to Ajax. And then he brought in quality players. I'm talking about Said Benrahma. I'm talking about Gerard Bowen as well. Proven quality players who would add that strength and grit to the squad. Mm-hmm. And then after the new players came in, the old players actually, were just leveled up. The main key players for me for West Ham have to be number one, Mikel Antonio, who whenever he's fit, he's leading up front, he's doing brilliantly well for them. Now we're talking about Jesse Lingard, who has been playing brilliantly well for them. We go to the middle of the pack. Declan Rice, first of all, good captain, young lad. He's very versatile for his age. That's someone who can play both as a centre back and effectively as a defensive midfielder. He's been brilliant for me, in my own opinion. Defending, going forward, being the anchor for them in midfield, doing that brilliantly. And obviously, the club captain, Mark Noble, as well, has been brilliant. Whenever he comes in, 34 years old, obviously does not have the same legs he used to have. Mm-hmm. But then whenever he plays, he gives in a good shift. And then you need to talk about Tomáš Souček, the Czech Republic midfielder. He's been absolutely brilliant. He reminds me a lot of Marouane Fellaini. A 6'4" midfielder who knows how to bust the game in the midfield and actually be prolific in the air and add to goals. David Moyes always likes that type of player.
We shouldn't compare them yet because
fine. Okay, let's not compare. And then we go to the defense. First of all, they've had a series of keepers who have had good stints, Fabianski, Randolph as well. But then obviously they've stuck with Fabianski. As we've seen so far this season, he has been the more prolific goalkeeper. And obviously the centre-back pairing of Craig Dawson and Angelo Bona has been brilliant in my own opinion. Sofian Soufal, he's a highly underrated player, another Czech Republican, highly underrated right back, has been doing a decent job, reminds me a lot of Pablo Zabaleta in his days. So it's been a brilliant job. On the left side as well, they've had Aaron Cresswell, they've had Arthur Masuaku. The good thing for West Ham is the consistency, consistency in personnel, which has been great for them. They've really had to struggle with injuries. And the good thing is that they found a system that works well for them, a brilliant 4-2-3-1. And when they do go up against the so-called top four opposition, they know how to switch back to a 5 at the back, manage the press coming from the bigger teams, and then be lethal in counter-attacking football. That's what David Moyes has done so far for them. So, kudos to them. They've really had to deal with injuries, really had to deal with suspensions. Most importantly, it's what is going on within the squad. The camaraderie has been brilliant, and David Moyes has been doing a very, very good job. So, credit to David Moyes.
Chimamaka, do you see West Ham making the top 4? The games left, I think they have how many games left? They have 6 games left. They play Chelsea next. They play. I'm calling I just want to list out the fixtures. They play Chelsea next. They play Burnley after that. Then play Everton, play Brighton, play West Brom, and they play Southampton. Tricky ties. The remaining six matches. But do you see them making the top 4?
Well, after Chelsea, they'll make it top 4. It's a very, very simple answer. After Chelsea, they make it top 4. They should now start praying for Leicester City to have a sleeper. But ideally, they've had a decent run of games, and they want to make up the 3 points.
No doubt.
looking at the remaining fixtures for the end of the season, I don't really see any team there as a big tussle for them.
Chelsea.
Unfortunately for them, they lost against Newcastle.
Chelsea.
But that's the only one I feel would be a run for the money for them. But though as it stands, every other team they've had one medium possible to nick out a win. Thank God for the likes of Jesse Lingard, who has brought a spark to the center, to the attack line of West Ham, and it's paying dividends. We are seeing what is going on. But for the top four, wow, let's not forget we have Liverpool on the line. Chelsea is still there. Yeah. We have Leicester City as well, and all these guys are separated by 1, 2, 3 points at most.
It's tight.
So it's going to be a very very tough.
Yeah.
Well, so I wouldn't actually give them the top 4 finish, but probably when Chelsea nicks the number 3 position ahead, the rest can fight for it. But as it stands, I can't give nobody that for now.
So let's move straight to the Everton-Tottenham game at Goodison Park. What can Tottenham do without Harry Kane? What someone said is no more Harry Kane. It's called Carry Kane because it seems to be carrying the entire Tottenham team. Without Carry Kane, would Tottenham be there right now? Because it seems to the past few games they've dropped points. I think they've lost, and they've drawn their last 2 games. They drew against Newcastle and they drew this one against Everton. Before that, they lost to they lost to Tottenham, drew Newcastle, they lost to Manchester United, and they drew against Everton. So it's been like, how many points dropped? 7 points dropped, and Harry Kane seems to be injured because he was substituted in that match. So what's the way for Jose Mourinho and Tottenham? And it was mooted that he could be out of the job at the end of the season. I'm not smiling, just saying mine.
Look, it's going to be a difficult say. I don't really think that Mourinho would leave Spurs. I believe Mourinho will only part with Spurs if he wants to. Definitely, the season has not gone in the way. Yeah, cash. It depends on where he's going to anyway. But you know what? It depends on how Mourinho evaluates things personally. Definitely, the season has not gone as planned. Currently, it doesn't look like they're going to secure Champions League football. And I mean, their exit from the Europa League was it's nothing to write home about. It was absolutely horrendous. It was embarrassing for Jose Mourinho's side. But then again, that's down to the players. But you know what? It's Mourinho's job to get these players to perform to their optimum level. And you know, him exiling certain players from the squad, talking about the likes of Eriksen, who has now left, and then Dele Alli, you know, him doing that and then not being as successful as he should be, you know, it's people are going to ask questions, because these two players were players who were detrimental to the creation of chances for Spurs. Now the mantle has fallen upon Harry Kane, who's now doubled with the responsibility of providing chances and scoring goals as well. You know, Mourinho is not concerned about a compact midfield.
Yeah, he has scored 45 goals and 17 assists for Spurs under Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, you know, so Mourinho is more concerned about a compact midfield and a compact defense. And then, you know, Spurs suffers from a lot of individual errors, from the goalkeeper Hugo Lloris, who can turn off at any time, to, you know, personnel in the defense. Either it's Davinson Sanchez, either it's Toby Alderweireld, either it's Sergio Reguilon. What's his name now? Sergio Reyes as well. And look, Matt Doherty has been a shadow of himself in his Spurs shirt as well. So you know what? It's been issues so far for Mourinho in the defense, and that has really affected him. I mean, solely relying on Harry Kane and Son has been a bad idea for them, because yes, exactly. So when Spurs are without Harry Kane and Son, it's difficult for them to get any victories. Gareth Bale has not been the same player. You know, it's not the same Gareth Bale that was at Spurs about 10 years ago. You know, it's a different Gareth Bale currently. So, I mean, things are difficult right now for Jose Mourinho. It's not the way he wants it to go. But, you know what? He needs to do his best to salvage a good season, at least qualify for the Europa League, since there is no silverware. And then, you know, just keep your pride intact. Because, I mean, Daniel Levy expects nothing but Champions League football and challenging for trophies. I mean, the new stadium, they need to make money. They need to be doing a whole lot better since money is available for them to sign players. So, you know what, at the end of the season, let's see what happens. But I mean, all the best to Spurs and Jose Mourinho. At this point in time, I could care less.
Chimamaka, you're the pro Mourinho fan, but looking at Everton, is this where they thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season? Because at one time they were sitting at the first position of the Premier League, they were in the top 4 mix, and now they find themselves in the 8th position of the EPL. Two costly errors from them, allowing Harry Kane to score those 2 goals. Is this where Everton see themselves, or is this where Everton thought they would be at the start of the season?
No, it's actually a step up for Everton compared to last season. This season they've actually come out. They threatened the EPL at the beginning of the season. If you all remember that time where Dominic Calvert-Lewin was firing on all cylinders, and we saw a James Rodriguez also doing wonders too as well. We felt that this team is going to push off, at least it's going to alter the normal look in the top 4. So as it is, Ancelotti would have actually seen himself in a better position with the way they started this season. But as it is the EPL. The EPL, no team is a respecter of the next team. Everybody comes there to fight for their 3 points, and they had a run of losses, and it has actually deterred their stand on the log. It's not their doing. It's just that there are other hungrier teams out there. For Everton, for them to be seated in 8 is not a bad thing. They can actually still struggle to get to Europe, the Europa level, if they so choose
Europa League
to.
spots.
Right. Yeah, if they so choose to, and it depends on their fighting, the zeal and the hunger and what they tend to achieve. Because as it is with Tottenham, I want to answer your question. You said, what will Tottenham do without Harry Kane? Very simple. Tottenham will get relegated. That is it. Because that's the truth. He scores the goals and he brings about the assists. So pick out and Harry Kane out of that squad.
I ain't gonna be happy with that response.
But it's the truth. Either they like it or not. If you take out Harry Kane's goals and assists from Tottenham this season, let us place them on any part of the table. You'll be shocked.
Like I read out 45 goals and 17 assists under Jose Mourinho ever since he took over.
Just take out the goals and take out the assists. And let's not forget, this season he has become more of a provider than even a goal poacher. Yeah. So if you take Harry Kane out of that sports team, I'm sorry they will be struggling with Burnley and the likes wherever they will be. But good for them. A pundit was saying and was advising Harry Kane that at the end of this season he should look for a better club that would appreciate his potentials, because Tottenham is actually killing the guy's potentials. He doesn't. To me, in my opinion, he's way bigger than the club.
Would you want to say Tottenham is killing, or Mourinho's tactics is killing? Because we saw this guy. Not at all. We saw this guy flourished under Pochettino. I don't want us to get into this Mourinho's issue. I'll cut you short. I'll cut you short before you ask the question, because I know where you are getting to. Yes. Before you continue, I will tell you, we saw this guy flourished under Pochettino. Under Mourinho, he's still flourishing. He's still banging in the goals, and he's still creating. Under Pochettino,
am I saying anything wrong?
Sorry, let me just make my point. Under Pochettino, we never heard Harry Kane saying he wants to leave or he wants to play Champions League. Pochettino gave him.
Mind you, Harry Kane under Pochettino was a much younger striker. Harry Kane under Pochettino was not yet established as one of the best strikers in the world.
Champions League football for straight 4 years. And now it comes on the Mourinho.
Did they win any major trophy? Did they win the Champions League? Did they win any trophy? Did they win the Premier League?
Did they play in any final apart from the Champions League final?
He played in the Champions League final against Liverpool. Against
not good enough.
Yes, against Liverpool.
Yeah, against Liverpool. Yes, against Liverpool. But that's not good enough. At the end of the day, for a prolific striker like Harry Kane, what really matters is winning trophies. He's 26 years old.
And mind you,
164 Premier League goals, and he has no Premier League trophy. I mean, this is the reason why Van Persie left. exactly. This is the reason why Robin Van Persie left Arsenal in the first place. He was banging into Arsenal. He had to go to a club where he could actually win silver, and he did that. So why can't Harry Kane go ahead and do that?
Harry Kane sees what is happening behind the scene. We're not there. For Harry Kane to come out muting or saying that he wants Champions League, and he might call it quit.
He never said that. He never categorically.
That's what I'm saying. But even if he didn't come out straight to say I want to leave or I need to, I'm exiting Tottenham. Come on, he incited it, and for him to have said that, there is an iota of truth in it. And what he's saying.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it could be a win-win situation for both parties involved, both Harry Kane and Spurs. You know, Harry Kane is going to be an extremely valuable striker. I'll be surprised if he sold for anything less than £150 million. You know, him going for that amount, I mean, that's a lot of money for Spurs. They can reinvest wisely, you know, get another good striker, another world-class striker if possible. You know, many things are possible. I've heard rumors about possibly Paulo Dybala joining, you know, if Harry Kane does leave, and then them actually signing Carlos Vinicius on a permanent deal and trying to bring him up to be a proper Premier League striker. Look, there are so many things that could happen. When Gareth Bale left for £100 million, Andre Villas-Boas squandered the money on a bunch of average Jews. I mean, out of all of them, Christian Eriksen at a point in time was the last man standing, and then he seemed to be a very decent buyer. Currently,
I just feel
Eric Lamela is standing.
I feel Harry Kane deserves better. And the thing is, how many goals short of legendary starters in Tottenham? So imagine he just have just 45 goals short or 43 goals short of breaking the record of the highest goal scorer in Tottenham. I've forgotten the man's name. He set that record way past in the years past. So it's just like 40 goals or 40 goals less in setting or beating that record. So imagine for a player to be considering leaving leaving without considering that legendary status, and he wants it quit. You should know that there is more behind the scene. Possibly might be tired with the formation Mourinho is pulling out there. We've heard pundits, we've heard analysis concerning Tottenham game. Each time we watch the game live on TV, and we hear the pundits come and say the way Tottenham set up, they score a goal and they relent. Do you think that is the kind of formation that Harry Kane would want to flourish in, or do you think Harry Kane would flourish? Yes, you guys mentioned he's flourishing under Mourinho right now, but do you think he could have flourished more with the kind of setup Mourinho sets up?
I'd like to answer that. Now, it depends on your definition of flourishing. Flourishing means in every aspect.
Is the highest goal scorer right now? Is the highest goal scorer right now in the EPL?
Still flourishing.
21 goals.
In that regard. But now, when you talk about flourishing, I'll use RVP as an example. He was playing football in Arsenal. He was getting starting shirts. He was banging in the goals. But what he was lacking were the trophies. And he opted out from that to go to pick up the trophies, irrespective of whatever record he's going to say. If you look at Harry Kane, if you check Harry Kane,
I feel this example you cited. Sorry, Chimamaka, I feel this example you cited are two different things. Because yes, Van Persie under Arsenal, he was scoring. It wasn't as if he wasn't scoring goals. It wasn't as if he wasn't playing good football. Probably there was no trophy to add up to it, because Arsenal is a club that have been winning trophies all these years, and all of a sudden the trophy drought came and they stopped winning trophies. I think the only trophy Van Persie won with Arsenal was the FA Cup, the 2005 season. But in this scenario, Harry Kane has not even lifted any major trophy for Tottenham. So there is no trophy.
But that's why he needs to leave.
I thought Mourinho was brought in. I thought Mourinho was brought in to win trophies.
Okay. Well, he's in the final as it stands. So bringing in the Carabao Cup might be an icing on the cake. But as it stands, talking about progress and the likes, if Harry Kane actually needs what is defined as progress, he should get himself out of Spurs, irrespective of trying to meet whichever goal legendary status in Tottenham Hotspur. Let's not forget, Harry Kane will not score 45 goals by the end of this season, and by end of this season, he's going to be going ahead of 27, playing 28. That is the prime striker. Even if he's going to meet up with that, I'm sorry to cut you. Even if he's going to meet up with that, he has to do 2 more seasons conveniently to hit 45 goals.
Yeah.
So are you going to wait for that, or or at least before you retire or before you leave, have trophies in, at least have a clean cabinet?
Yeah, I know one more thing. One more thing that I do have to add is that Harry Kane is someone who knows his body. We know him as a striker who has suffered from injuries a lot. Up until the last 2 seasons, Harry Kane has missed every match day fixture in the month of August, up until the last 2 seasons. So you know what? He's someone who has always struggled with injuries. Currently, we know that he's struggling with an injury and he might just miss the Carabao Cup final. So he knows his body. He knows the extent to which he can go. So probably he's thinking about that as well. He might be a player who probably cannot play till 35 or 36. So he's got a good number of years left. Currently, I believe he's in his prime in terms of goal scoring and assisting, being a playmaker. So he wants to go to a club whereby he knows that his contributions are going to lead to silverware. You cannot blame him for wanting to do that. Those before him, I mean, the players he looked up to, I'm very sure that they are all established trophy winners. He wants to be a winner. We all play football to win. We all enjoy the game by winning. So and this is a striker who is coming from Arsenal's academy as a very young boy. Yeah, although he was released. So sometimes I'm sure in his mind, if he was thinking, probably if he still stayed at Arsenal, what could have happened? He could have won trophies with Arsenal as well. So many things go on in the mind of an individual. At the end of the day, he's 26 years old. He's got one of the best goal scoring records in the world, and as a striker and also in England. I mean, give him props. Let him win his trophies. He deserves his flowers.
Definitely, but for him to leave, a club has to drop the money. Because I know he ain't going to leave free, because Tottenham would want to milk this situation and make every money out of Harry Kane. Said we're going to use 30 minutes. It's 32 minutes gone already. But, it's all good. Looking at the other matches, Arsenal, Fulham, the drew today, 1-1. Fulham, I think, was a dent to their pursuit, to their fight in the relegation battle. Because of time, we said we didn't want to do more than 30 minutes, but now we're 32 minutes gone. But we just have to round off the EPL. We'll just have to round off this EPL review. But before we do that, just one minute. This is breaking news. European Super League, UEFA and Premier League condemn 12 major clubs signing up to break away. So many reaction on this whole latest news. Does it make sense, guys? Just a minute each. Who's going first? Come on, break the ice. Okay.
Okay, look, for me, it's absolutely ridiculous. It makes no sense. I mean, I've been hearing about the rumors since about May last year. There have been rumors here and there. But one thing I am happy about is the fact that UEFA has come out to take a stance, which is that they do not support the Super League, and that any team which wants to participate in this will be exempted from local competitions, and also the players involved for that club would not be allowed to represent their country. So UEFA has cleaned their hands off it. I believe it's just a money-making venture by some of the big pawns in European football.
Chimamaka.
Okay, I said it all. I wouldn't be a party to that, and I'm happy that UEFA has come out. For the first time, UEFA has done the right thing. I hope they include this kind of stand in the fight against racism. Well, as it stands, I'm happy that UEFA has come and have washed their hand off it, and I like the conditions attached to it actually. Yeah. So any player who wants to get involved in this should know he has lost his international status for his country, and he's also going to lose his local league. So whichever way it is favorable for you, you stick with it. But it's a good stand with UEFA.
Yeah, definitely. It's been nice doing this with you guys. I know there are other EPL matches tomorrow. Leeds play Liverpool, and some other matches to be played tomorrow to complete the week 32, match day 32. We'll look out for those games, but on today's episode, we're going to round off here. I would enjoy you guys to follow us on our social media platform. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and also you can listen to our podcast on any of this platform: Anchor, Spotify, and Google Podcast. It's been nice doing this with you guys. We say have a nice week ahead and stay blessed.